Big Sean sitting up here, leaving Jhene go with a son and no ring. I hate y'all niggas. Like, Big Sean, you annoying as hell.
Okay, when anybody says you're mentally ill if you're ready to have a kid but you're not ready to get married.
I think that Forbes article left out that women also be embarrassing themselves in these relationships with these men. Because what do you mean you spent 10 plus years with this person, this man, knowing the whole time you wanted a ring? You gave him a baby, right? And you kept staying around, hoping and groveling, embarrassing yourself in public to get the ring, and you don't get the ring and y'all broke up. At least that's what I'm seeing with Jhene Aiko. I guess her and Big Sean broke up. That's also embarrassing.
Okay. That part.
So Jhene Aiko dropped a song that fans say confirms her breakup with rapper Big Sean. Time is interesting because just days before that, Sean was seen on stream with Sexy Red, Neon, and a model named Sydney. Now, people are speculating that Sean and Sydney are dating. The internet ran with it, calling Sean disrespectful and saying he wasted Jhene's time. But the truth is, both of them made choices that led exactly here. This isn't about heartbreak, it's about patterns. So let's get into it. Around October 14th, Big Sean appears on stream with Sexy Red, Neon, and model Sydney. It didn't take much for people to assume that there was something more. Fans started connecting the dots, speculating that Sean and Sydney might be seeing each other. A few days later, Jhene drops her new song full of lyrics about heartbreak and walking away. That's all it took for people to say, he's already moved on, she's heartbroken, and the breakup's official. But from that point on, Sean was painted as the villain and Jhene as the one who got hurt. But this situation didn't start last week. Women online are dragging Sean, calling him selfish, saying he played house but never intended to commit.
Yeah, Ego and Big Sean breaking up after 10 years, bitch, you better than me because he would have died that day. Who? You not finna start up with the next bitch after you done strung me along for 10 decade, bitch! We done started everything together. If you knew you didn't want to marry me after year 5, bitch, you should have never gave me no baby. Who? Sometimes women do stick around because they think that a man gonna change. But that's when you change his death date. Go ahead and speed that bitch up because after 10 years, you're not finna do another year with nobody else. The fuck is you talking about?
But remember last year when Sean told Charlamagne marriage wasn't his priority? A lot of those same people called it growth. They said it was mature for him to be honest instead of making promises he couldn't keep.
There has not been a secret industry. Marriage, to me, marriage symbolizes like the best relationship. You know, people be like, well, you gotta get married. To me, I feel like having a relationship is first and foremost, and like marriage is a byproduct of that. I feel like a lot of people get the idea of like, oh, you have to get married. But then it's like, to me, that's almost a fear-based way of thinking too, because then people be getting divorced.
And many women also said that they didn't believe that Jhene really wanted marriage either, and that they should just do what works for them. Now that things ended exactly how he said they might, that same honesty is being recast as manipulation. People only respect the truth when it gives them the outcome they want. And Jhene knew who she was dealing with, just like Sean did. When they first got together, she was still married, maybe separated, but still married. So off the bat, this wasn't built on a clean slate. Then came one of the biggest examples of attachment over alignment. Jhene didn't just get Sean's name tattooed, she got his face tatted on her arm, a full portrait. And that's not subtle. That's a woman emotionally invested past the point of logic. After that tattoo, they broke up. They got back together and eventually had a child together, but marriage was never required. Sean said he wasn't ready, she stayed. That's not being blindsided, that's being committed to what you want, even when it doesn't want you back in the same way. A lot of people heard that as hesitation. A man telling you he's not ready isn't confusing. What's confusing is staying after he tells you that and expecting a different result. Jhene kept building with him, maybe hoping love and loyalty would eventually change his mind. But when a man gives you his boundary, believing you can love him past it is where most women lose themselves. This is exactly why I say women like who they like. When a woman really wants a man, the standards and non-negotiables start to bend. That's why the whole pick better argument doesn't always hold up, because a lot of women are picking exactly who they want. They're not being fooled. They're choosing based on desire, not discipline. Jhene didn't chase marriage. She chased the connection. She didn't want the structure. She wanted him. That's what happens when chemistry leads. You end up loyal to something that was never built to last. You can see that same selective logic playing out with the NBA player DeJounte Murray and Jhene Michelle, by the way, is NBA YoungBoy's ex/baby mama. Murray went online recently calling out Jhene for clubbing and focusing on her social life while he's trying to build a stable home. And instead of people saying he has a point, the majority of women told him to stop complaining and choose better. But that logic disappears when it comes to Jhene. If women can tell a man to pick better, then Jhene could have done the same. She knew Sean wasn't marriage-minded, but stayed anyway. That's the double standard. Accountability only seems to matter when it's convenient. Women like who they like, and when it's a man they admire, the standards and sympathy look completely different. When you look at their history, this ending makes perfect sense. Sean's always been consistent about one thing. He builds long relationships but never ends them in marriage. He dated his high school girlfriend for years, got engaged to the late Glee actress Naya Rivera and called it off, dated Ariana Grande, and then spent nearly a decade with Jhene. A child, a home, years of love, but still no wedding. That's not confusion, that's a pattern. And Jhene has one too. She's been married, started seeing Sean while still in marriage. She's not unfamiliar with commitment, she's experienced it and walked away from it. Which means she had every opportunity to be intentional this time to vet a man who actually wanted marriage if that's what she truly desired. Women want Sean to change as if Jhene didn't have the option to end the relationship. Sean doesn't want marriage, and she knew that and stayed anyway. The same people telling DeJounte Murray to stop complaining about Jhene and choose better should apply that same logic here. Jhene could have chosen differently too. Accountability isn't gender specific. Both of them built this. Sean never promised forever, and Jhene never required it. They built something emotional but undefined. And when a relationship runs on feeling instead of foundation, it's only a matter of time before it collapses under its own weight. What's interesting is that I don't even think marriage would have been such a heated topic if Sean hadn't done that interview with Charlamagne. Because look at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky. They're not married either, and most women take no issue with that. But there's a reason for that silence. Rihanna's a billionaire. Women don't want to see her lose money in a divorce, so as long as Rocky publicly dotes on her, calls her his wife, and says he's Rihanna's husband, women are fine with it. He's not embarrassing her. With Sean and Jhene, it's the opposite. Sean makes more money, doesn't call her his wife, and has a history of long-term relationships that never lead to marriage. That flips the power dynamic, and that's why people suddenly want marriage for her. It's not about morals, it's about optics, security, and access. Here's the thing. She may not have even wanted marriage in the beginning. Maybe she was fine with being with him, building a family, and keeping it spiritual instead of legal. She's always been quiet about that side of her life, so it's possible she wasn't pretending, just evolving. People change. Maybe she started to want more structure later on. Maybe it was something else entirely that broke them up. But either way, this didn't come out of nowhere. The two of them made choices that eventually clashed. And then there's Jhene's image. She's calm, spiritual, and seen as unproblematic, just like Rihanna. But unlike Rihanna, she stayed almost 10 years off and on in a relationship that never progressed. That's why people sympathize with her. They see her as the loyal one, not realizing that loyalty without boundaries isn't peace, it's avoidance. And honestly, a lot of women online resonate with that. They've been the Jhene in their own stories, ignoring red flags, hoping love would make him change. And I said this in my previous video on Sean and Jhene. Women act as if they don't have autonomy. We pick and choose when to be independent. And independence isn't just about money. It's about our life choices. If you choose to stay, that's still a choice. That's why this breakup is deeper than gossip. It's not just about them, it's about reflection. So yeah, Big Sean's getting dragged right now, but the truth is both of them made this bed. Women like who they like, and that's why standards disappear for certain men. Do you think Sean really wasted her time, or did Jhene just keep choosing the same kind of dynamic she was comfortable with? And does this prove that marriage was never her goal to begin with, even before having a baby? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more real commentary with facts, receipts, and perspective. And until the next video, peace, y'all.
Everybody's like he's no item. Please don't like him. He don't wife him. He want item.